What's up, sitters? This is Tyler Rolfe, along with Joey Edge.
Sitters, what's good?
And Chris Martinez.
What's happening?
And we are front porch sitting.
What's up, boys?
Not much, man. This has been fun. We've had a good time.
We've had a great time
Getting the
off
show
air.
started.
I hope and pray that the show is as good as the off air was, because, whoo boy, we've had a nice time.
It will be. It will be. It's going to be a lot of fun. It is. I cannot wait. I am excited. I am on the Kool-Aid of Florida State and Mike Norvell.
Oh, man.
I've been on the Kool-Aid for 3 years.
I mean, I have too, but I'm like really chugging it now. Like keg stand chugging it now.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Well,
Kool-Aid, that is.
I said 3 months ago that Florida State would be undefeated and going to the playoffs, so I have been on the keg stand
I think
for
I
a
said
minute.
the same thing.
Yeah,
I said the same thing, right?
you did.
I thought y'all were just trying to jinx
I feel
us.
really good after
I
watching the
swear I
Clemson
believe
game.
that from the beginning.
It's one game. It's one game. We're not going to overreact, but we are going to overreact a little bit.
We are going to overreact.
We are also going to talk about Florida.
Yep.
And speaking of not overreactions, but just reactions,
Yeah.
Colorado.
Yeah. And a little here, a little there. in between.
Florida too.
Yeah.
NFL slate kicking off tomorrow. Can't wait, man. Excited.
There's so many good things going on right now.
Oh my gosh.
One sort of bad thing.
Yes. Sitters, stay with us. This is important.
So, I wish I had some like somber music to play in the background.
Yeah, I was gonna
Some,
play
like,
something.
piano?
I was gonna play something, but I don't want to get it kicked off forever.
Oh, that's true.
So just
Taylor
roll with
Swift
it.
and stuff. So from the very beginning, Front Porch Sitting had 3 founding members:
It did.
It did.
Joey Edge, Chris Martinez, and
Bradford
Douglas.
Bradford Jaw. Douglas.
Bradford Jaw.
Yep.
We have lost one of those members. God
He's
rest
still
his
alive. Oh my God!
It's not that somber.
It's not a eulogy.
soul. I'm so glad you picked up on
jo-
that.
Yes.
That's good.
His job just doesn't allow him to be
just-
here every Wednesday
Yes,
now.
his job just doesn't allow it. So
Right.
you will be seeing a lot less of Bradford. I think he may try to come around every now and then.
We'll try to get him on as like a guest every now and
Maybe
then.
we'll get him to call
We
in.
can call him a special guest.
Yeah, but he won't be a permanent host anymore.
Won't be a permanent host anymore.
For now,
so you're stuck with
maybe
us three.
if we can reevaluate the situation at some point, hopefully whenever his job allows him to actually, not get up at 2:45 in the morning.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that. So we'll see, but for the time being, in the immediate future, we are going to be Bradfordless on the podcast. I know. The chat. He's still alive. Jesus, Sydney said. Sydney had the greatest draft of all time in the fantasy draft, by the way.
In your family league that I'm not a part of?
Yeah, that your brother is a part of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's okay. Yeah, it's okay.
It has to be okay.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm not
Sorry.
upset. I'm not upset. Not me.
Anyhow, yes, we're going to move right along. We do have a full show. Before we get into any of that, though, we must talk about the best gun store in all of the land, and that is JW Weaponry.
That's right. One may call it the premier gun
store
store of the South. And one may say they're always loaded. I don't know. One may say that. His name's Bradford. But yeah, go see JW Weaponry. Great people, great prices on guns, ammo, everything. If they don't have it, they will get it. That's a guarantee. Yeah, go see them. Give them a call if you need to. 386-243-8587 is the number to JW Weaponry. So yeah, go see John. Mention Front Porch Sitting to John, and he'll give you 5% off, probably.
Yeah. No, he will. He will. Maybe not ammunition, but
I don't
everything
want
else.
to. I don't want to take any more time up. Let's talk about football.
Yeah, I'm with that.
Let's talk about football. We opened our show notes up tonight, sitters, before the show, and Chris said, "I love when football season's here.
It's my favorite.
It is.
We don't have to talk about swimmers anymore, sitters. We don't have to do it. We get to talk about football."
Yeah,
Football.
it literally read Florida State, Florida, Colorado, and there's some like notes, of course, under
Yeah,
each,
yeah,
but
right.
but like the headlines.
The headlines.
Those are the headlines. We had to have like 8 headlines.
So where do we want to start? Which team we want to start with?
I'm not as you guys call it. Either way, it doesn't really matter.
Let's start with Florida, and we can kind of build momentum to more positive.
It was also chronological too. It happened first.
Yeah, that's true.
factual.
That's true. Do we want to do shout-outs real quick? Do you have anybody off the top of your head? I can go first.
Yeah, you can go first,
Whoever
seeing
got
as
to.
it wasn't on the show notes.
Yeah, no, I know. Sorry.
yeah,
I
fire it
usually
up.
I usually do shout-outs, like intro/shout-outs. That's my fault.
I can fire it up. Go ahead. I'll get one.
I'm going to shout out the Dix family. They're a sponsor, yes. But they're some of the best people, man. I just love those people. They really are as good as it gets. That's all. Just Brian Dix, Amy Dix, Bryce Dix, Jordan Dix. They're as good as they get. Like, love them to death.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of them. I'm going to shout out Austin Lawrence.
Oh, good
Fun
shout
fact, Austin Lawrence was the first person on earth besides us to know that Bradford wasn't going to be on Front Porch City. Because I saw him at church tonight, and I told him.
Wow.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, good guy. I love Austin.
Privileges.
Austin's one of my favorite humans on this planet as well.
Yes.
Yep.
He was big. I was so glad that he came to watch the game with me Thursday night.
That was a
Oh, did
joy.
he?
Yes.
It was a joy. It was a joy.
Yeah, you did not.
I'm so bummed I missed that.
Yeah.
It was a joy.
I booked out because I didn't have power, and it was 80 degrees in my house.
There's power here.
I went to Georgia.
I don't blame you.
Brian, I love you.
Oh, yes. Speaking of that, I'll give my shout out. Hope everyone made it out of the hurricane. Okay.
Yes.
So shout out to all the linemen for
Oh,
getting
that's so good.
getting the power back on. First responders, making sure people are taken care of. We love you. In addition to that, I'm going to go Zach Polk.
Okay.
He is the quarterback club president. He does, him and his group, his team do an unbelievable amount for our kids, most of which goes unnoticed
Yeah.
for our athletes. We get fed 3 times a week now. That's new, amongst countless other things that he does for.
Hot meals too, not just like
Yeah. Hot
throwing
meals.
stuff in a box. Yeah.
Yeah. So super appreciative of him and what he does for Columbia High School football team and the high school just in general. And Belmont as well. His kids go there. He's plugged in. So
Yep.
Love that.
love that. Big fan.
Yep.
All right. Football.
UF.
UF.
Yeah.
Disappointed.
Yeah. You could say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Disappointed is a good word.
What were you most disappointed in? We're going to get into it, but like, what were you most disappointed in?
Like just basics. What I was most
Just
disappointed in.
vanilla as
Sloppy
heck.
play. Just sloppy.
Sloppy play for you? What about you?
Coaching.
Coaching.
Coaching for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's really. It's just like I thought individual players played pretty good at times, right? I really did. I just said right. I don't like that because Napier says right. Anyways,
Jeez Louise.
I know he does.
Joey's already on hashtag Fire Napier 2024.
No. I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet.
Okay.
I'm not there yet. I'm close, but I'm not there yet. No, I thought individual players played pretty good. And defensively, I thought for a group of guys that were really bad last year, thought they played pretty good. I think they gave up like 48 yards in the second half or something like that. It's not bad. Like that, they played well. They competed. They had the big play at the beginning of the game, and after that, they were pretty rock solid, honestly. But the little things, man, the little things that every coach talks about the little things and how they're going to add up, and they did. Like delay of games, which is partly on coaching because we got to get the freaking play in much faster than we do.
That is, I agree. That's on coaching, especially with this accelerated clock. Like everyone knows it's faster.
Right. So what were we doing in the summer to prepare for the clock situation and all that? Like it just seems like not much, and that's a problem for me. The fall starts. I know he said they pumped in noise to the practices and all that, but like
Didn't work.
that's either a discipline thing. Like that's not my biggest thing with when I'm coaching is you're going to make physical errors. No matter what you're doing, no matter what sport you're playing, no matter what you're doing in life, you're going to make physical errors. But if you're making mental errors, that's a problem, and it's probably not on said player. It probably goes back to the top. No matter what you're doing. Like if my guys are making mental errors, it's because I didn't do something right in practice. Or something. Like something's not good. That's what I know for sure.
Or
Mental
maybe
errors-
you're playing the wrong player.
maybe that.
Because if I coach it right and it's still happening,
That's
you're
true.
not the guy for the job. Someone else. But either way, it's still my fault for putting you out there.
Precisely. Agreed. So that was my biggest issues. And then just overall, like the flow of the play calls is so like just
We're going to get to it.
yeah, it feels like I'm throwing at a dartboard.
Let's
right
get
now.
to it. I think. Wait, I want to read a couple of comments in the
Yeah,
chat
yeah.
because
I haven't
like
seen any of them.
no, I know. I'm so glad I did, and I was not going to interrupt you, and that was perfect soliloquy that you just gave us. But we're going to scroll up if at all possible. Okay, here we go. So Blaze says the altitude was an issue.
Yeah.
Zach Maxwell, Billy Napier's play calling. Luke Minshew, big friend of the show, fundamentals and offensive line play.
Mm-hmm.
My sister said we need an offensive coordinator. I agree.
Yep.
Brian Hill said Hail Mary defense, first play of the game. Let's see. I agree with all of that.
Yep,
I agree with all of
I
that.
agree with what Luke said after that too.
Yeah, Austin Armstrong will be a fine coach if given time. He'll be given time because Billy's tied his wagon to him.
Yep.
Yeah, I wanted to point out how close that game was to being like 10-10.
Yeah,
So close. When it was 17-7, if Florida doesn't have that false start, converts on the fourth down, right there in the red zone, convert that touchdown, We're up 10-7 at that point in the game. Get a third down stop, the punt. 2 number 3s on the field. They go down and score again.
We have to park it there.
It's just,
We do have to park it there.
Yes.
That's absurd. Like, it's asinine. It's
I've
unbelievable.
never seen that happen.
It can't happen. I just don't. I don't know now. Like, in what world, like how that happens. Honest to God, have no idea.
Yeah.
Here's all I can think of: the players weren't paying attention. It's somebody, one of the million staffers that they have's job.
I think that's the part that everybody struggles with. But go ahead.
To throw on an alternate jersey onto one of the 2 players wearing 3.
Right.
And it just didn't happen.
Yep.
And that just can't
And it
happen.
led to a score.
Absolutely, we're off the field.
Yeah, it went from them punting to them scoring 7.
I agree. That's just absurd. Like, it's inexcusable. There's just no way.
Yeah.
There's just no way that you can make, like, it's almost as bad. It's actually worse. It's worse than like when a defense calls a timeout and they run 12 guys on the field.
Yeah.
Or they call a timeout and they run 8 guys on the field with a field goal.
So this is absurd. That's another issue. How do we have 8 guys on the field? We're 3 short.
Again, that's not coming from 3rd down to 4th down and going back out on the field. I'm almost positive it was either a TV timeout or somebody called a timeout. There was a timeout involved, and we had 8 guys on the field after that.
It's inexcusable. Like, what are we doing? It's not one. It's not one guy that's
Right.
over in La La Land.
Right. 3?
3?
But it was like all of it happened like in the first quarter.
Yeah.
It was just like mistake after mistake after mistake, and the momentum was just killed. Missed the field goal after you probably should have punched it in. So
I just think too, like with Billy
Yeah, you gotta
Napier
win
being
right
such a freak and a fanatic about analytics and all the little things and the details, it's mind-boggling to me that the product looked the way it did. As far as like from coaching to play calling, like nothing was set up or really designed. I just didn't think they. Here's what I don't understand, and Gator fans, you guys can correct me, and Joey or Tyler, please do. We have like really good Gator fans in here right now, so this is the part that needs to be happen or comment. Why not more carries for the running backs?
He mentioned it. A reporter asked about it in the last press conference that I saw, and he basically said, "Yeah, that's on me." Well, I mean, obviously it's on you, Chief.
No kidding.
But yeah,
It's not a secret. Those are the best 2 players.
That's all I have. I don't have another reason for it.
Okay.
I thought Graham Mertz threw the ball well. I thought he actually threw the ball really well, much better than I anticipated him throwing.
Yeah.
I thought the receivers played pretty good for the most part. I like everything was okay. I thought, like I said, player wise, 7 and 2, and 2 Montreal. 7 and 2 have to touch the ball.
Yeah.
Like they have to.
Yeah.
Like 10 times that's not acceptable. 10 times is not acceptable whenever. Like that's like you said, the 2 best players, maybe Ricky, but the 2 best players on your
he's up
team
there.
are 7 and 2.
Yes.
They got to touch it. One thing up top, Maxwell said 3rd and 14 bubble, something. It was a 4th and 14, and it was a slip screen. So 4th and 14. 2, Caleb Douglas, who isn't our best guy for that scenario.
No, don't
Trey
love
Wilson.
that.
Trey
Probably.
Wilson would be.
Trey Wilson looked like a freak.
Trey Wilson looked really good.
Yep.
Scroll up. Luke had some insight.
Yeah. Because I got something for that too.
He said the special teams coordinator named Couch didn't change his player personnel sheet, which was because Wilson was 21 the week prior
Eugene Wilson changed his number to 3 later.
and moved to 3.
Okay. The problem with that is Desmond Watson was also on the field on that punt.
Who wears 21?
Who wears 21?
Why is he on punt return? Why is Desmond Watson on punt return?
Couldn't tell you. I saw somebody, because somebody else pointed that out, and then I saw a screenshot of the punt, and they circled the big. I mean, he used hard to miss.
Yeah.
The big 21 there, and it was like, okay, so either way, we got 2 guys with the same number on the field. Problem.
Why
That's a problem.
is 21 on
That's a
punt
problem.
return anyways?
That's
Who
a
the
problem.
hell is he blocking? Who's 21 going to block? Who's going to run around his big ass?
Probably the punt returner if he gets by everybody. That's who he's blocking.
God, that's bad. That's so bad.
But yeah, like I said, individual players I thought played well. And I'm not gloom and doom right now. I'm not.
You're not. I ask you a difficult question.
Right. I still believe that Billy can be the guy going forward. He just he's got to accelerate his learning curve a lot at this point. Like, this is going to sound crazy, but Tennessee at home in 2 weeks is a freaking must win. Like, you have to win that game now. You could afford to lose that game maybe if you win at Utah. There is no affording to lose that. You have to. You literally, if you want to save face for now it's going to happen a few more times throughout the season.
Yeah.
But for right now, you have to beat Tennessee. You have no choice.
Can they?
It's the
Well,
first.
well,
must,
let's not
it's
get
the
there yet.
first must-win of his tenure.
I like that. I like that call. We'll put him on must-win watch. We'll make a graphic for that. Ooh, we won't be having a whole lot of graphics
Yeah.
anytime soon. Yeah, I was just disappointed. I thought we'd see a better
Yes, Luke.
effort. I thought we'd see a better effort. I was on Florida plus, or allegedly, I thought they would cover.
Hey, Clayton might have been on Ricky Pearsall over receptions, maybe allegedly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the cash.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I don't know. I just I was disappointed, and the coaching side of it for me was the coaching side of it. It was more about I just didn't think they did a very good job, honestly.
Right, I agree with that. And I do think Blaze is onto something with the altitude. I said that before the game. If they can handle that, I don't think that's an easy thing to handle. Like I think that's them coming to Florida and playing in the humidity is similar to me. Like you lose your mental focus a little bit because it's a struggle to breathe up there.
Yeah.
And so I do think that played a role. Like I think mentally, like the mental focus is harder whenever you have other obstacles in your way. When
Yeah.
there's challenging situations in front of you, your mental focus it lapses. Like
Yeah.
that's just human nature. And so I think being in the altitude and not being comfortable and I think that had a role in it. And that's not necessarily a coaching thing. That's just a unfortunate thing, I guess. But I do think that played a role.
I did too. Are you at all? We're not going to be dead horse. You're concerned. I don't think that was a great Utah team either.
No.
Not that day.
No.
And that's the
No.
part that would be again just an added layer of like, oh gosh, a little bit.
They'll still finish 9-3 or so, and they'll look
Yeah.
okay. But it's because they don't play in a very good conference.
Yeah, that wasn't a great.
Although that conference had a really good weekend, like
Yeah.
a really really good weekend,
Yeah,
like the best weekend of all conferences. So
they did have the best weekend.
literally went 13-0.
We shall see what happens. What's our win totals on that? Can you just pull it up real quick?
For
Florida.
I don't know if I have it.
I thought you had it on the spreadsheet.
Oh, I have. I don't know if I added.
You don't have to
Win
actually.
streak?
You don't have to actually like put it up there. I just was curious, what Joey's number was, what my number was, and how
I'll
and then,
let you know.
and then how we feel about it. I think I was because I can't remember if I was over or under. I know Vegas had it at 5.5. I
was
feel
a
like I
touch
was.
over.
I think you were a lot over. I think you were like 2 whole games over.
No, I wasn't at 7.5.
I'm almost positive. But I think I was over as well at like 6.1 or something like that. And I don't feel as good about it because I kind of did. I don't know. I guess I had Utah as a coin flip, so I should still be okay in theory.
Hey, go back. Oh, there you go.
There it is.
Good job.
Told you we're 7.5.
Golly.
So how do you feel about 7.5 right now?
I mean, I don't love it. I don't love it, but
I was at 6 there, I believe.
it's still possible.
6 Oh God Almighty! I don't like 6.8 anymore.
It's still possible. I'm
Yeah,
not,
but
I'm
I
not
did-
saying it's not possible.
I
but
did count for Utah to be
Utah.
half,
Yeah,
50-50.
you did.
But I thought I thought they would look better doing it.
That's my thing. It doesn't matter. The result is almost irrelevant. Not it's never irrelevant, but it's not as like if you play that game competitive and you look good doing it,
Yeah.
and you just got beat by a better team that day. All right, you can live with that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the silliness of the mistakes.
I agree.
Yeah.
And the like avoidability, like you can avoid those mistakes.
That's the thing.
Like
the
if we're
avoidability
buttoned
of
up and
mistakes.
we're like cleaned up and we've got things where it's supposed to be, like those things don't happen.
right,
Like they played the actual football
right.
well enough to win the game, but like dumb things that could have been avoided got in the way of that.
And that's the one thing that like I really thought when Napier was hired. So I like the things that I really loved about Napier is I knew he was going to recruit well.
Yep.
And he's done that. He has recruited well. I knew he was going to recruit well. The discipline I really thought was going to be high. The stupid penalties, like that's the first offseason, that's all he talked about. He gave everybody a sheet of how many penalties they got, when they got them, how they got them,
Yeah.
how we can avoid doing them again. Like that's good stuff. Like I mean I was excited. I mean
Yeah.
all in. Like let's do it. Let's go. I'm
Yeah.
in. Those are the things that I thought that he would really do well, and he's done one of them well. But the other one, the discipline, yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
whatever that word is I'm looking for.
Taking the
What-
pieces and putting them together, like it just hasn't happened.
Yeah. What's the word I'm looking for?
Organization?
Thank you. The organization. You're the man. The
I
organization.
don't know how I got that.
I don't either because there was nothing that
You
led
gave
to that
me
word.
nothing.
Holy crap!
You
Nice
really
work.
get- That's great.
That's a lot of years.
That's knowing
of
your
me
cover.
being on the-
No, my guy.
Yeah, that's a lot of
Drowning.
years of us being on the same page.
Needed a life raft.
Huge life raft.
Gotcha.
Anyways, the organization that I know he has, like I know he's organized.
Yeah.
How are you not organized when you're calling plays and everything's happening like that? Like you have to be ready for that. That's the things that have disappointed me so far in him.
And this is the last thing, because we have a lot of Gator fans in here, and I love a lot of Gator fans, but I just think like the preparation there, it just didn't feel as if the preparation was there. Like, if we know that we're at practice and there's 2 threes on the field on punt return, like somebody's gonna go, whoa, hey, hang on a minute, like
Right.
this, because his number's already changed by now.
Right.
So
Don't
when
just assume that somebody's going to do it either. Like,
when we're running through like special teams, like, hey, punt team, kickoff return, PAT field goal, and we get the punt return, we're like, oh, wait a minute, we need to address this right now, right here, right now. Hey,
100%.
one of you 55 people over there in a polo, that's your job.
yeah.
I was going to bring that up, the size of the staff.
Again, and you alluded to it earlier, but I think that's a lot of the reason that people are a little bit agitated by the stupid stuff.
And they should be.
They should be.
Because if you have literally an army as a staff,
I
like those little things shouldn't be happening time and time again.
I threw some shade 2 years ago when they were beating their chests about the staff size, and I'm like, okay, it's really, really cool to have all those polos, polo army, but if they're not all pulling in the same direction and they're not organized and they're not put together in the right way, then we're wasting money and
Right.
wasting resources. And if we can have 2 threes on the field at the same time or 2 21s on the field at the same time, then we're not organized.
Yeah, I think if you get an OC there, it's a double whammy. You know, you get someone new calling the plays, and then Billy Napier can kind of focus more on the organization side of things.
Yep.
I think it's a double win.
So, yeah, no, I 100% agree, and I think that's the next step. I think after the season, if things continue to go the way they've gone, they can't fire him. They don't have enough money to fire him. There's not going to be enough money to fire him. And he's good at certain aspects. And so if you take some of the offensive play calling and the game planning and all that away from him and you focus on just a bigger picture, like here, you're an overseer, you're a CEO. Make sure things are running smoothly. Get your guys ready on game day. Like, that's it. That's all you need to do. Continue to do everything you're doing off the field. Continue to recruit the way you're recruiting. Hell, you can even recruit a little bit harder now because you don't have to worry about, you know, these little tedious things. Like, yes, you can have your hand in it, of course, but have somebody else do that for you. That way you can focus on clock management, which has been abysmal. The middle eight, which everybody talks about, abysmal since he's been there. If you're not calling the plays, if you can, like, when you're focusing on those little things, maybe it gets better. But
Maybe.
I think that's the next step for Florida. If things continue to
That's
go
going
the
to
way
be a
they have.
tough conversation to have.
Yeah.
It's easy for us to sit here right now, but if I'm Billy
100%.
Napier and I want to call plays, no.
Yeah, okay.
No.
Well, then we'll find $30 million.
Find it. Give it to me too.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they're going to do. That's what they're going to have to do.
Hand it to me.
Yeah. I
If
mean,
I-
I understand your side.
But
of
as
it,
a coach,
but-
though, when you hired me as the OC. Now, do I have to do a better job? Yeah, I got to do a better job.
Right.
He just took accountability and said, I got to give 2 and 7 the ball more. That's a step in the right direction. But I'm also not going to be very receptive to that conversation where you say, hey, you need to hire OC. I'm saying, I'm not hiring an OC.
Right.
If I believe in me.
Well, I mean, everybody believes in themselves. They have
Well,
to. Otherwise, they wouldn't be there.
It took Jimbo. Well, we'll see. we'll see if Billy Napier. I agree with your point, and,
Right.
and I think I agree with it. But
It's gonna be
us
hard.
agreeing with it, and
Right.
the head man that y'all just promised a lot of money to, I don't know that he does that.
And maybe not. The next step would be to then get rid of Scott Strickland and have a new AD come in and then him say that. Maybe a little easier conversation. I don't know.
Maybe either way,
Maybe.
I'm getting paid big time to sit on the couch.
Yeah, you're right about that. Hey, go up. and
Nobody
see-
wants
is
to get fired,
I
but-
didn't read a lot of the comments.
No, there's not a ton of new ones. Blaze did say that you said you could see 9 and 3.
I did.
Yeah,
I mean, if they played well,
we know you're not going to
To
stand
be
down,
fair,
but
that was like if every single thing.
yeah,
went
if
their way.
everything
Yeah.
goes well. I also said that 6 and 5 or 6. Yeah, no, 6 and 6 is more realistic than 9 and 3. So
I thought you said the other way around.
did I? I mean,
Yeah, you did.
I don't.
You said 9 and 3 is more realistic than 6 and 6.
Did you say that?
I don't think.
You know
That's
you said
reckless.
that. Yeah,
I don't think so.
there's tape. We'll get Anthony Newton on
I want
it.
you to know that I said something absolutely reckless the other night. Michelle said, "Oh my goodness, you've been hanging around with Joey too much."
Did she?
She absolutely did.
I love Michelle. She's a sweet girl.
Anything else on? Oh, I see. I don't watch pressers. This is why we have good listeners. Luke says, I thought in the presser, he said he would give up OC duties if it came to it, but to make room, you have to get rid of a staffer, aka one of the O-line coaches.
Bro, if he said that already,
That's weak.
that's a problem for me.
Yeah,
That's a problem for
I
me.
take back everything I said then,
Yeah,
because if
I
he
didn't- I'm
already
not-
laid the groundwork to give it up,
I 100% believe Luke.
I do too. Luke's definitely dialed in.
Yeah.
I believe him.
But if he said that already, I got a problem with it because that means you really don't believe in you.
You don't believe in you, and then the product isn't going to change. It's going to continue to look like that. And hopefully you hit the OC coordinator higher right, and then hopefully y'all go ahead and take to that those changes. It usually takes about a year or so to get all ironed out. And so now we're looking at 2 years removed, and so now we're in 2025, 2026 football season before the new OC. Okay, doesn't sound like a recipe for success.
No, but
It's okay. Maybe he won't get to that. Maybe he'll just turn around and hand the ball off to two. There goes Joey again.
thank God.
I have no idea why he's going.
It's okay. I look better anyways. Just kidding.
I'll 100% agree.
No. I just am wearing a better color.
No, that's false. Well, no, definitely not.
We were in gray.
And purple and gold.
Garnet's way better than gray. We're going to let Tyler mess with the camera for a second. There he is.
Hey.
If it keeps happening, it's going to be okay. We'll go Florida State now, or we need to do something in between, right?
Probably need to do an ad read for. Let's go
McCardle.
Joshua McCardle
Yeah.
in Josh's barbershop.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's truly the best barber I've ever known.
Yes.
Yeah, he as good as it gets is in the chair, and the conversation is excellent. The atmosphere is unbelievable always. There's always people in there just hanging out because he's a cool guy to hang out with.
Yeah. It'd be silly not to.
Yeah, Christy's got her thing going out there now. It's a whole outfit over there at Josh's barbershop.
Yeah.
And it is a good one. Make sure you go see those guys. Text Josh at 386-247-1430, and he will get you the schedule. Get on the schedule. Make it for a couple of weeks in advance. Yeah. Hunter said Josh is the best. Got my haircut there today. 100%
Awesome.
the best.
Yep.
Attaboy.
Jake Kennedy in the chat. Welcome, Jake. My dad's in the chat too. Jake says prime to Gainesville. Who says no? And then he goes on to say, would Joey prefer Dabo?
No, give me prime all day.
We're gonna get to some Colorado talk, but before we do that,
Can we also get to Clemson at that point too?
yeah,
'Cause
absolutely. Let's just
I
dive
feel
in.
good about my preseason other than the Gators.
Yeah, fair enough. Florida State.
Florida State,
Speaking
Florida
of
State,
feeling
Florida State.
good.
as you should. Just brief synopsis, and then we'll get in depth after that.
I felt like jitters got them early a little bit. I think they were too amped, trying to do a little bit too much, especially on defense. They gave up 300 yards in the first half on defense.
That's insane.
That's insane.
I did not know that.
Yes, sir. But they had huge goal line stands. I thought it was really, really big. I think LSU to start the game had 7 or 8 plays from inside the 10 and came in with 0 points. So that's huge. They were aided by penalties there. But I thought Florida State was dynamic as we thought they would be.
Right.
I thought they were electric. They have weapons everywhere. They use those weapons everywhere. The world got introduced to Keon Coleman. And Johnny Wilson, everyone knew who he was. He's going to drop the ball. But even with his poor performance, he had 100 yards and had 2 defensive pass interferences that he drew. So then I thought they just imposed a will on LSU in the second half. They handled them defensively, changed some run scheme things offensively, got the counter rolling, and let J. Trav cook.
Good job being very diplomatic there. Hunter said it right here. FSU pounded LSU into the ground, even with the Big 12 refs trying to save LSU. I swear, I thought in the first half that it felt really, really, really like the Big 12 refs. And I don't know why we're trying to make sure the game stayed close.
So I'm the objective person. I'm the objective Seminole fan, and
Right.
and I especially with officials, because every fan base
No,
in the
you
world
are.
says oh, the refs tried to cheat us. Man, I really, really, really thought they were trying to take the game, from Florida State. I really did, especially in the first half, and I thought they did a good job having some disjointed drives and extending some drives for LSU. But Florida State kind of stayed the course and trusted their work, as Mike Norvell says, and handled them very, very effortlessly.
I counted 8 calls in the first half that were borderline at best that did not go Florida State's way, and 1 that went Florida State's way.
LSU didn't have a single penalty.
Yeah, they played a
perfect half.
perfect clean half.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
And it was only up 3
Yeah.
at the half, and that was, like I said, I felt like that was very gifted. So, There was yes, Jake, me as well. I agree. Knowles hooked us up.
Yeah, I was heavy on that.
Yeah, me too. A lot of it.
Allegedly.
Jake Kennedy. Well, the head ref's brother was in the Louisiana Air Force or something. Wow. Did not know that.
Yeah, well, I saw
I'm
that.
glad
in
I
the
didn't
game.
know that.
I saw that in the game, and like they should have led with that instead of waiting until he had already like made himself known on the field a few plays. Because I was like, I don't care anymore. Like
Yeah.
it was a cute moment. His brother flew over in the plane. Yeah, and so
Oh, you didn't see that?
yeah, so you
I
see
think I
him
was holding
looking
my
up, and he's
kid,
like
yeah.
he's like smiling and happy and whatever. And I was like, yeah, that's cool, but you've so far screwed this game up. So stop.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. But they overcame it.
I agree,
I
guys.
feel really, really good about Florida State, like the outlook, because what happened to Clemson, what Duke did to Clemson. Florida State does still play Duke, but, I mean,
They look so complete.
I think that's a good word.
Yeah.
I think if you had to pick one descriptive word, like complete is probably pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. So you said earlier about jitters. I thought like Superman, whenever he really is like he's that guy already. You
Yeah.
don't have to be anything more than that guy.
Yeah.
Just be who you are. And then once he settled in and was like, okay, I'm just gonna play my game. Like you saw the difference. He's elite. Top 3 in the country. I still believe that. That didn't change my opinion on that.
What I loved about his game was he only had 38 yards rushing.
Yeah.
Florida State's season, for them to get to where they want to be, playoffs, potentially a berth for the national championship game, because I think those things are on the table now, is largely depends or relies on Jordan Travis' health. So for him to only have to run the ball for 38 yards, not run the ball that much, I think is going to be huge moving forward in keeping him upright and keeping him healthy. He was 23 of 31 with 4 drops in the game,
Right.
Which would have equated to like roughly, if they get tackled where they drop the ball, I think it was like an extra 50 yards. So he'll be, if you adjust the stat line, which you cannot do, but the drops aren't on him. They hit the receiver in the hands. 27 of 31 for 392 and 5 touchdowns now.
Yeah.
Pretty good day. Sufficient. And 38 yards on the ground when he absolutely had to run. So
Yep.
I'm very, very pleased with that. They didn't get the running game going and still did what they did, which I thought was I don't know.
That's what you can do
good.
when you're a complete team, though.
Yeah.
You don't have to rely on just one facet.
Couple of things. So back to Jordan Travis. I think that there was a couple of times on like 2nd and 10s or 2nd and 8s where he had the ability to run and maybe pick up 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 if he makes a guy miss, 20 if he makes a guy miss, whatever. And he chose not to, and he either threw it away or threw incompletions. Going forward, I think that he probably should take the easy yards and just slide. Even if
maybe
it
in
gets to
some
3rd and
games.
4. Yeah.
Maybe in some games.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Not till Clemson. If they're like, that's the next test.
Yeah, how about that?
Like
Why-
Southern Miss, he's not going to have to run the ball.
This
I don't
is-
want him to run
right.
the ball against Southern
The
Miss.
way my
No,
brain
of course
works
not. Of
is-
course not. Of course not. But in that game, in that situation, there was times where he could have
Yeah.
made a 3rd manageable, and he didn't. It didn't matter because they were physically just a better football team.
Yeah.
But there was times where I thought he could have made plays with his legs, and he just chose not to because he wants to prove that he can stay in the pocket or play the throw-in game no matter what, which he can. So
Yeah. The depth was huge, too, on both offensive and defensive line. Florida State played 53 players in this game in a top 5 or against a top 5 LSU team.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're probably a little bit overrated. There's probably top 10 maybe. But still, playing 53 players, I guess huge.
Right.
They played 10 true freshmen.
that's strong.
That's nuts. It's crazy.
Yeah.
They rotated 8 offensive linemen, which we haven't been able to do that since 2013 probably.
Yeah.
And even then we couldn't do it. We were razor thin depth-wise. Just the first 5 were really freaking good. They just never got hurt.
Right.
There's just depth everywhere. Like everywhere there's depth. I was extremely pleased with all of it. All of
Yeah.
it. Like, you don't want to have an injury, but to know that you can sustain one and still be okay. Florida State hasn't been in that position in quite some time.
It gives you guys the ability to play a little more free.
Yep.
Like you don't have to think about, man, I can't get hurt because if I go down, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, the only guy who has to think about that right now is Jordan Travis,
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
and he don't have to play that way because he's just a gifted
And
player.
they can protect him a little bit.
Right.
He knows where to go with the football now.
Yeah. A couple of things. There was one up a little higher. I don't remember what it was. I had it a second ago and I lost it. Shaheem Brown played really well.
Yeah. I mean, that doesn't, like,
No.
we're not surprised here. We're huge fans of Shaheem.
Yep.
But I will say in fall camp, like they wanted him to be more consistent, and take a leadership role. He had the most snaps with not being targeted, 38, which is like a PFF. There's a highlight that they did. Pro Football Focus did like a graphic on him, that's pretty good. Like that's really
38
good.
snaps, no targeted passes.
You know what I want to say too? Here's what I want to say. What I noticed about Florida State's are we good on the offense? I mean, Keon Coleman, welcome. Like if you didn't know who he was, now you do. They've been talking about him all camp, like he was a freak show.
Yes, inside they have. I don't think the outside world quite knew how good Keon Coleman was.
I did not.
If you listen to Front Porch Sitting, you knew.
You knew.
You should have known.
I mean, I knew
he's their number one. We knew we've known he was their number one. I also you haven't seen it, but when everybody's telling me, hey, this guy's going like up top on everybody. I mean,
I watched him at Michigan State after I saw that he was transferring, and I heard some some people that I know that are pretty close to the program were talking about this Keon Coleman cat, and I'm like, So I went back and watched some of his Michigan State stuff. Dude, he just does it all. He runs routes. He's big. He's strong. He's fast. He's an athlete. He can go up and get it. He's like that. So yeah.
Anytime the guy can play in the 8-man rotation at Michigan State basketball,
yeah,
can probably play football, high point the ball and go get it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like that.
Jake had one more up there about the Florida State O-line. I want to read the whole thing just to make sure. Is the O-line still the weakest unit on the team? Is that what keeps Florida State from winning a national title?
No, I don't think they're the weakest unit. Weakest unit, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe DB. Maybe defensive back.
Yeah.
I don't think
if it is O-line, that's a good problem to have because they're not weak anymore.
I don't either. And so I think to Jake's point, I think LSU, Mekhi Wingo is an absolute problem.
Yeah.
And they had I can't think of the other kid's name, but he's a second-team All-American as well. And they played really, really well inside. They did a good job of stopping what Florida State wanted to do in the run game. Florida State wants to run counter. And so Blaze also alluded to it, so we'll go ahead and hit his comment. But Alex Atkins at halftime, or Mike Norvell, between the two of them, they changed up the scheme a little bit. And instead of pulling like both guards or both guard and tackle, they start pulling like guard and H-back. Mekhi Wingo could get doubled more instead of just being like a one-on-one type deal. It's good. And so they adjusted it, and so then now the counter runs started to pop in the second half.
Right.
And then if you think about it, that's when the offense started rolling. It's predicated on moving the ball on the ground first. The ball has to move on the ground first. Once the ball moves on the ground first, and everything else becomes easier to navigate and attack.
Yeah.
What I was going to say about defense was, because we're done on offense, right?
Just Sherman's comment, because I agree with it 100% actually.
He said he thinks that Jordan was thinking that he could get the run anytime he wanted. He wanted to get his troops going. I agree with that. He wants to keep, like, if you think about it, they fed Jaheim Bell first, then they went to Keon. Like, they were definitely trying to get guys going.
Yeah, 100%.
Which is the perfect thing to do. I think Sherman's probably right there.
Yeah, I do. I
agree. Let's see. Blaze asked a question about the offensive line adjustments, which I thought was huge, because that's why I love Mike Norvell and company, is they can coach too. They can coach. Like, they're coaches first. People are hated on them for not being able to recruit, but like that's taking care of itself now too. But they coach. Like, they're good football coaches. Like, I've talked about this before. Been able to sit in like a meeting room with these guys on the defensive side while they coach. They know what they're doing.
Right.
Now, can they relay it? It looked like they could. But
it sure seems like it right now.
Right now. But, like, they can coach. But Blaze says, how soon do you think they knew that making that adjustment in the run game would work? Do you think they held off until halftime? No, I think they probably got to halftime, Blaze, and adjusted to it and saw that Mekhi Wingo was playing the shade and he was just beating Maurice Smith on the back block. He was just better than Maurice Smith, if we're being honest. So the center is trying to block back. Yeah, he's trying to block back on the shade. The nose guard, basically. And the nose guard was shooting it, taking the counter away, because that's Florida State's bread and butter. And they did that very effectively in the first half. So Florida State said, okay, well, we're not going to pull both of them. How about this? We'll double your big behind, and we'll pull a guard and an H-back, a tight end. And once they started doing that, it was night-night termite, like run it up. But let's see.
I'm ready for defense now.
I just love what I love about defense. I love defenses that can tackle, and I love defenses that communicate, like over-communicate. Those are my two favorite things.
Yep.
If I see a defense out there and they're all talking, and now I can't hear them talking, but you can see their helmet moving, you can see their hand signals. They're all communicating. We say it all the time, even at Columbia High School. We say it all the time. If we're all in the wrong coverage, it's okay.
That's right.
We misidentify the formation and we don't get in the right set and we don't get in the right coverage, the perfect coverage that we want to be in. If we're all in the wrong coverage, it's okay.
Right.
Is it optimal? Not necessarily. Can we survive to play second down? Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
I hate whenever I see defenses like one side's over here, they're playing one thing, they're playing the right coverage, and the other half is playing the wrong coverage. That's how huge plays happen. Mm-hmm. But when you're communicating, everybody's on the same page, then we're good. Like down in the red area, Greedy Vance didn't play a ton. He's like the slot corner guy. He's coming in there. They got a bunch set, and they're going to rub routes. They're going to pick you, slant, slide. They're going to do all those things. Everyone does it. Everyone has the same plays.
Right.
He's literally screaming at this. So there's the far outside receiver, the slot, who was Greedy Vance was on, and then the next one in. He's screaming at the interior defender like, hey, you could tell him. He's like, he's coming to me. Mine's coming to you. We'll pass him off. It'll be a quick switch. Sure enough, pass him off, quick switch. DJ Lenny gets a sack on fourth down.
Yeah.
No play.
Right.
But it's pre-snap communication. It's huge. It's so encouraging to see.
Yeah.
Because it means not only do they understand what the offense is doing and how they're trying to attack them, but they also understand how the defense works. And so they're comfortable in the scheme as well.
Right.
So they can match, okay, hey, they're trying to do this to us. These are our tools that we have in our defense that allow us to counter that before it ever happens.
Yeah.
And so that was huge for me. If you go back and watch, they were communicating like crazy.
Yeah.
Like it almost looks over. It looks like frantic, but it's not like frantic looking at sideline like give me the call. It's frantic talking to each other like, hey, this is what we're about to get right here.
Yep.
That's a sign of a well-coached team. That's a sign of a well-coached defense. That's a sign of a coordinator who has guys coordinated. It hasn't always been that way.
And the other thing to that is it wasn't happening late. It was happening early. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes, sir.
That's the one thing I noticed. And we didn't watch this game together.
No.
I didn't want to put you through that.
No, I watch this game by myself.
Yeah,
You know that.
because it's a big game, and the small games we can watch.
Yeah.
Me and you, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Anyways, but that's the one thing I noticed just sitting here was, I noticed that like it was so quick with their communication. Like offense would be going to their set, and it was like you could already tell they were looking around like, okay, this is what we're gonna do if this happens, and then did it happen? It was like blah 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 blah. Like you said, you could see heads moving, you could see communication was happening.
Yeah.
That's dangerous for everyone else.
Yeah, no, it's like what I also noticed, and again, this hasn't always been the case with Adam Fuller and his defense. They're one more year in the system. They returned the most amount of production and starts, so it should look like this. But like they were even like talking like I already said pre-snap, but the reason that is so big to me is because like that's pre-snap. Like in case this happens, this is what we're going to, and it was huge, man. It's huge. It's such a breath of fresh air to see guys that appear through one game to know exactly what their assignment is, to know exactly what they're doing, and play fast. First play of the game, they could put 55 yards. That's a good job at LSU scheming it. Mm-hmm. Deloach gets picked, loses his man. They're playing man-to-man. They know they're going to get man-to-man to the boundary. They get the back on nobody. He gets 55 yards. They go chase him down, and they live to play another down. 8 more plays, turnover on downs.
Yeah.
It's huge.
It is huge. It is huge. You said something there, like when you're confident in what you're doing,
mm-hmm.
always. Like when you're confident in what you're doing, you're going to play
faster. Think about this. I'll give this analogy. This is an analogy for any human in the chat right now. All humans in the chat. You've never been nervous for a test that you studied for.
Ever.
You only are nervous for the test that you didn't study for.
Exactly.
Or the test that you don't have a study guide for. Or a test that you don't know the material on. You don't get nervous for tests that you study for.
That's right.
Some people have test anxiety. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to those that like we know what the material is. We know what the content is. We've studied. We've prepped. We've done everything we can. I'm ready to go take a test. Mm-hmm. And then we've all walked into a classroom at some point in our life and aced the test because we studied for it.
Exactly.
And you answer it so much faster and so much more confidently because you know the answer because you studied for it.
Right.
You
don't go back and check the answers either there.
No.
You make sure you answered each question Outside of that, I'm not reading the question again. I know that I got it right the first time.
It's the
I don't
same.
have to read it again.
Exactly. It's the same thing with sports.
Yeah.
I don't have to second guess my decision. If I see it, I'm going. I know. I've already seen it on film. This is what coach wants me to do. This is how I fit in the defense. When I see it, I'm going, and everything happens faster.
Yes, sir.
It finally appeared that way.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I was very, very pleased with the defense, even though they gave up big numbers, yard wise in the first half. I was encouraged at the defense. I think they'll get better.
I think you're right. How confident are you going forward in Florida State, especially after what happened Monday night with Clemson?
I'm trying to be optimistic with like the season outlook, but I'm extremely excited to watch them play again.
Yeah.
I'm as happy, I'm as excited to watch this team play as I have been in since 13, 14.
I was going to say 2013 probably.
Yeah, 13. 14 was supposed to be
14
really,
too, yeah.
14 they went to the playoffs and they got beat. But they came from play from behind in a lot of those games.
Right.
So that quickly wore on me, being so excited to watch that team play. But it reminded me of it's just like dating me a little bit. But in 2013, when they opened against Pitt, Jameis Winston's opening debut, and he threw 36 straight completions or something crazy.
Yeah.
They beat him by 40 or something crazy.
Yeah.
No one saw that coming. And it kind of felt like that. It was like a coming out party for the whole unit, like a complete squad. There are some new faces, but everybody ate. Jaheim Bell ate, Keon Coleman ate. The O linemen. And they've literally hit on every single transfer.
Right.
Every portal, they've hit on every single one.
Yeah. I mean, again, Gator fan. I'm not picking the helmet up. I'm a huge Gator fan, but I just believe in what Florida State's got right now. I believe in what they're doing. I believe in what they have.
They believe in it though.
And they do.
That's the
and you can tell. Yeah,
Jared Verse doesn't come back if he doesn't believe
Oh, 100%.
in that team.
100%.
That shows the culture that they've built. When
Yeah.
guys like Jared Verse want to come back and play because they know what they've got in the locker room.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, as much as kids don't feel like they want discipline and structure and culture, everybody on this planet wants that, whether you like to admit it or not. So,
Right.
high school kids that are seeing that, they know. They know what's coming. They know they're going to get a good culture. They know they're going to get people that love them. They know that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's going a long ways for recruiting high school kids right now for Florida State. Is just they know what they're getting with the culture and the way things are going down.
I agree, and I think what you just said a mouthful right there with what's happening on the recruiting trail right now. It hasn't happened publicly yet, but it's going very favorably for them right now.
Yeah, I'm sure. I have no doubt.
Zach Maxwell has a good comment because he has a very, very, very good insight. He says, Coach Fuller and the analysts on defense read LSU like a book. Everything that they practiced every day for what seems like months was exactly what LSU brought. Props to him. So there it is, straight out of the mouth. Zach's there every single day. It showed because
Right.
that makes perfect sense to me now because you sit there and you watch how they actually handled and reacted to the motions and the formations and everything. They looked like they knew what was coming.
Right.
They looked prepared. They looked coordinated. It looked how it's supposed to look. Speaking of looks, the uniforms,
Yeah.
love them. Way better, right?
I mean, yeah, but I don't know.
You don't like them, it's okay. But for Seminole fans, they're so much better. They're so much better.
I don't care about that. I don't care about
Jake Kennedy. So is it national title or bust for this team?
No.
No,
Why not?
because national titles are hard to win.
Because they won 6 games 2 years ago.
Yeah.
They won three the year before that.
I think, and Jake, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think he's looking at this as Jordan Travis's last year, Jared Verse's last year.
It's a lot of their last
This
years.
is the window.
I don't think
this
it's
is a
slammed
window.
shut. I think they have to. I think it would be great to capitalize on it. I think making it to the national championship game is going to be, but saying that they're going to beat a Georgia or Bama, or if they don't, it's a failure. I don't think that's fair. At least not yet. Not after 1 week.
No,
Yeah,
I don't.
I
Think
understand the question. I really
Right.
do, and understand
Yeah.
your point. But I don't think you say bust.
I think they come in probably, if they go undefeated, they come in as the 2 seed likely.
Yeah,
So
assuming
I think,
Georgia
so then you're having to
or Bama
play-
wins out.
brother, I don't know about that. If they go undefeated and they dominate every game, and Georgia
'cause
looks
Georgia
like they
doesn't play
just
anybody.
looked,
That's true.
and Georgia looks like they just
a
looked a
great
lot. Now, I don't think Florida State plays much either. I've told you guys from the beginning. I think Clemson is bad this year, and I don't think I was wrong on that.
It doesn't look like it after 1 week.
I don't think Duke was a fluke. I think Clemson is bad.
Yeah.
I truly believe that. And it's not because I hate Dabo. I do hate Dabo, but that's not the reason I think that. I just don't think they have the same pieces that they've had. I think losing staff members year after year after year after year has finally taken its toll on that program. Some guys it does, some guys it doesn't. I think it's taken its toll on that program. So Florida State doesn't play the greatest of schedules either.
No.
But if they look like they looked Sunday against the rest of the competition, I have a hard time believing that they're not going in as the 1 seed. Unless Ohio State or Michigan go undefeated. Maybe USC, maybe Texas. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe if somebody else goes undefeated that we don't expect, then sure, maybe not. But as of right now, if they play like that, it's tough to look at the way they played and not see that was the best team in the country Saturday. So this weekend, not necessarily Saturday, but this weekend.
I think also what's encouraging too is the defensive line. I know we didn't talk about it too much, but that's a very good LSU offensive line.
It is.
It's a first rounder at left tackle and first rounder at right tackle, and draftable guys at guards. That's the best offensive line that they'll play this year. Outside of the playoffs.
Right.
And even in the playoffs, I'm not sure that there'll be a whole lot so much better. And then Blaze brings up a good point. I don't know if he knows anything. He may know something I don't know. But Jackson, D-Jack, will soon be in the rotation. He's the best D lineman on the roster. He's the one that got his waiver denied that they're trying to look back into it. He's the best. I'll say it again. He is the best defensive lineman on the roster.
He didn't play.
And he did not play. He may not get to play this year, but
best defensive lineman not named Jared Verse.
Better than Jared Verse. That's what they say. No, I mean I think they play different positions. Best interior D lineman.
Okay.
But I'll say this: they say he's as disruptive, if not more disruptive, as Jared Verse, but he does it from the interior.
If that's the case,
oh boy,
have fun.
I don't know. I don't know if he'll be that. He was not that at Miami. He was that during fall camp. So we'll see. Josh Farmer was a freak show too in there. We'll see. I am very, very excited.
Chris is not very high on this team, guys. He's a little
Y'all know,
disappointed.
but the sitters knowing me.
Yeah.
If
I'm shocked you're this high on them.
Really?
Honestly, I thought you would come in and try to lowball it and be like, "Yeah, they look good. Only one game. We got to see, want to see this weekend."
I do still feel that way.
Yeah, but you're not pushing it.
Yeah, no.
You are sipping.
I'm not worried about Southern Miss.
Yeah, no.
I'm not worried about that. That's week 2. I'm not worried about that.
No.
Zach is there every day.
He's a glitch.
He's a glitch. So take that for what that's worth.
I don't know if the older generation knows what that means.
Cheat code.
Loki, I thought he was talking about Joey flashing in and out. I was like, oh crap, did Joey's
true.
screen flash again?
As you should. If I'm a Florida State fan, fanboy
dude,
too.
I would be living it up.
It's now. But Jake Kennedy's question about is it national championship title or bust is a valid question in the frame of they have to replace a ton after this year.
Right. Yeah. But it's still not national title or bust for them for now.
I think it's national championship game or bust.
I don't think it's or bust in any scenario.
Who is I think it's playoff. It's playoff. I think
it's playoff or bust. Absolutely at best.
Their goal going into the season was ACC championship. Wasn't playoffs. ACC championship typically gets you in the playoff.
Typically.
You don't think so? You're saying it wouldn't be a bust of a season if they didn't make the college football playoff this year with the roster that they have?
I mean, would it be disappointing as a player and coach and fan? Yeah, but is it bust?
Okay,
No.
let's define bust. What do you mean by bust? Because we're talking about it, but what do you mean? What would be a bust for them?
9-3.
No, that's horrific. That's
Catastrophic failures.
Yeah, that's catastrophic failure. That's not a bust.
It's easy to say that now after LSU. Look the way it looked.
And we're looking at it from that perspective.
Yeah.
From that perspective of we've already beat LSU.
I don't think they should lose more than a game going into the playoffs.
I just don't see a game on the schedule that they can get beat by. I just don't.
So then how is it not college football playoff or bust?
Because
see what I'm saying?
Joey doesn't like the word the
term
parameter
bust,
of bust.
feels like
failure.
You're going to throw the program away.
No. When I say bust, what I think of is we see what this team is capable of, and they fell short of that
Is
expectation.
underachieving, is what
Yes.
you're saying.
Yes.
No, I mean, I think the expectation should be the playoff if that's what we're talking
Yeah.
about.
I do too. I think get to the playoff. Let's see what shakes out.
Yeah.
What's interesting about the playoff is you never know who they're going to be seeded up against.
Right, and you don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel as good about this team, this Florida State team, as I have in a very long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you should. I'm excited for the next few weeks.
Yeah, it's gonna
You
be
know what
fun.
I'm excited about?
What are you excited about?
Talking about
Brian,
Brian?
Sports.
Yeah, Brian's next.
Yeah, Brian Sports.
Yeah.
You went. You just talked about Brian and family in the shout out.
I did. Yeah.
We'll give them more time right now.
Yeah, I stopped by there today. Good people. I mean the best. But yeah, go see Brian for any of your sporting good needs. Shirts printed, hats, whatever you need. Go see Brian. He's going to get you hooked up. If you mention Front Porch Sitting, you'll get 10% off.
Yeah, tell them we sent you.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're just you're gonna do business with one of the better humans that's ever walked on this planet.
Better
And one of the
families.
better,
We're gonna
yeah,
go-
one of
we're
the
gonna
be-
extend it
the
to
whole
families.
family. Yeah, the whole family. Old Bryce just got married not too long ago, so
Yep.
excited for her.
That's awesome.
Yeah, big time. Talked to her today. She's had a good married life so far. So happy for the family. But yeah, go see them 755-0570. If you can't go, call them. Brian loves to talk on the phone. So
I didn't say that, Brian. Awesome.
right.
Awesome. Love Brian Sports.
Let's talk about another team that looked good.
yeah, I'm in. Let's do it.
Colorado.
Yeah, Colorado.
The only thing that frustrates me about the Colorado game is how they were hyping up TCU as the team that got second place in the national championship last year.
You got to do that if you're Fox Sports.
Holy
You have
moly.
to. You do have to.
Garbage take though.
It is
It's
a terrible
such a
take.
bad take.
So let me just tell you a little bit about TCU and how bad they are. And I'm not this. Let me preface this by saying I'm not taking away from Colorado right now in any way, shape, or form. I'm not. TCU had a win total last year of 6.5.
Yeah.
It took miracles upon miracles upon miracles for them to get to where they went to, and then get absolutely. I don't even know what the word that correctly defines what happened to them in the championship game, but whatever it was, that's what happened to them in the championship game by Georgia.
Bust.
It, bust.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did not belong to be there.
Did not belong there, right?
They
And it was
returned.
very
They
ob-
only returned. TCU only returned 3 players.
right. So they did not belong there to begin with. Their win total for the year was 6.5. Yes, you can perform above expectation. Yeah, sure you can. But there was so many one possession games that they had to luck their way into winning, and like things bounced their way all year long for them.
Michigan
to get
had to Michigan. Holy
there. Michigan had to
moly.
Michigan. Jim Harbaugh has to
Kansas
Jim
State
Harbaugh.
has to do what they do.
Right. Like there's
Dude.
things that have to happen throughout the year for
Yes.
this to go down this way. Okay. Fast forward a year, their win total is now 7.5. It's not like they went to the championship and Vegas was like, "Let's go. This team's here to stay." No. 7.5
Yeah.
was their win total. So it's not like this is some world beating team.
Right. Agree.
Flip to that. Sonny Dykes can coach football. I believe that. TCU's head football coach. I
Yep.
think he can coach football.
Shellacked.
What Colorado did by going in there and just, throwing punch after punch
Unloading
after
them.
punch after
Yeah.
punch and getting punched. They got punched too.
Yeah.
Getting
Dude,
punched.
that thing was a slugfest in the second half.
It was
It was everything you want
Such
college football to be.
a fun game to
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah.
It was unbelievably fun to watch.
They were throwing 50-yard plays around like there was nothing.
Yeah. I didn't. I was hoping somebody get a stop. Keep going. There's nothing good in there right now.
Okay. I saw you looking at it a second ago.
No, I read it. It's, my dad said shellacked is good.
Shellacked.
But you're doing good.
Shellacked was a good word. But like the flow of the game was like it was fast paced. Like you didn't care about the like you were talking about the clock earlier.
Yeah.
And how it's fast forwarded now because of all the things that are going on. They want to make the game go faster. You didn't care about that because the game was going fast enough. Like both teams were rolling at that point. It was fun. Colorado. So we talked earlier about Billy Napier. Here's what I love about Deion, and we talked about this off air, but here's what I love about Deion. You can tell that he lets his offensive coordinator be the offensive coordinator,
Yep.
and his defensive coordinator be the defensive coordinator.
For a little bit. He
For
did
now.
go down there to Charles and say, "Hey, buddy." They had a conversation.
Okay. Yeah.
After the 50th point scored.
Right.
It's time.
So,
What the freak are we doing, sir?
but for the most part, he lets his guys coach. He's the
Yeah.
CEO.
Yeah.
The pregame speech, freaking excellent. Like it was really good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. It's really Deion's making it really freaking hard for me not like him right now, and I
Here-
don't like that.
Here's how I feel about it.
I know.
If Deion didn't have a personal vengeance against the school I love, I would love him. But he does.
Makes sense.
So
And it's a weird one too.
It's bizarre. It's very bizarre.
It's really weird.
It's really weird. It's an odd personal vendetta against.
Is it because he didn't get hired?
I think so.
It has to be.
Not as I don't think it's that he
had
didn't
no
get hired as
credentials
the
to
He's
head.
not qualified.
But I don't
was
think it's
not.
that he didn't get hired as the head coach. I think it's that he didn't get hired as a DB coach.
No, Willie Taggart tried to hire him as a DB coach. He didn't want that job. Instead, he took Jackson State job. That's everyone. Everyone knows that.
I thought that it was he took the Jackson State job because Willie would never give him.
Willie tried to hire him. They're boys.
Yeah, but it's Willie.
Okay, well that isn't Florida State's fault. That is a Willie Taggart problem.
No, it's 100%
We have
Willie Taggart.
we have
problem, but it's still
rectified
Willie.
we have rectified that. But I don't know, man. Yeah, Deion Sanders, an HBCU grad. That's why I can't like him. I do respect him and what he's doing in Colorado, though.
Already.
Yeah, I do respect him.
Yeah.
I say that, but I don't mean that. I don't. I don't like how he's going about it. I don't. I do not. I don't. I don't like how he did the 85-man like turnover, like them guys, and some of the things that he says and does. It's like about him. I think it's over the top how he treats the media. It's like he's like a pro Deion guy. He's doing a heck of a job though. Can't take that. His kids love him. He loves his players. They play hard for him. Clearly, they don't play any defense, but they play hard for him and they love their coach. But I don't respect
I'll say this.
I don't respect him.
I think a lot of people, probably a few of us on this podcast too, were looking forward to this game to be able to say, "Ha, see Deion, you can't just do that. You can't flip the roster like that."
A lot of people were.
And it didn't happen.
See, I don't have like a personal vendetta against him.
Right. I agree with you. I think so many people
There were.
wanted to see him fail, not because it's Deion Sanders, not because they're Florida State fans. I think they wanted to see him fail because they hate the system.
Yeah.
Right? Like that I truly believe that. But unfortunately for them, he didn't fail. In game one. Now it's only game one. There's 11 left. A lot can happen in 11 games. But in game
They were like
one,
a 20-point dog.
and in game one on the road against a team that was in the national championship the year before. Now we know, they know, most people knew. They probably
Yeah.
weren't. They probably
That
weren't
was
that
very
good.
Donald Trump sounding, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Everyone knows.
But like that, to have that many guys come in and then play as cohesive and for each other as they played for each other. They played hard.
100%.
One game.
One game. And could it blow up? Absolutely. Sure
game.
could.
One game.
It was
One
one
game.
game, but do you think that snowballs into the next game?
Yes, they'll beat Nebraska.
Uh-huh. And then what happens the third game?
I'm not 100% sure they beat Nebraska. But
USC curb stomps them.
Probably.
is that who they play week 3?
I believe so.
Oh, that ain't going to be good for them. I don't know that they beat Nebraska. I really don't. I think Nebraska's much better than people are going to give them credit for. But
They're a dog at Nebraska, right?
Colorado?
Colorado thinks it's a 6.5-point dog. Clayton,
Colorado's a 7-point favorite now.
a favorite.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Was always Buff's money line.
Yeah, Clayton had like a plus 3,000 parlay that was sneaky good.
Huh.
Sneaky.
Allegedly.
Marty said he knows how to market himself. He absolutely does. That's the one thing. Like we talked about this off air, but like I really like a lot of what Deion has done. I really do. I like that. I truly believe that the guy cares about his football players, his kids. I believe that with all my heart. I believe that he cares about the game of football. Truly believe that. I'm all in on him, and then I see a clip and I'm like, bro, you made this situation about you.
Yeah.
Don't do that anymore.
I didn't see a single graphic from Fox, ESPN, anybody that talked about this game where it wasn't Deion on the cover of the art.
And maybe
It's because it's the first one, probably.
right, and maybe that's by design to take the pressure off of the kids. I don't know, but what I do know for sure, I'm positive of this: Travis Hunter is good at football.
So good.
So good.
He's good. I wasn't sure. I was a skeptic. I was like, maybe.
Both sides?
There's zero chance
It's
he
crazy.
lasts 12 games, going 125
that.
plays a game.
Don't say that. Don't say zero chance.
It'll be tough.
Okay,
It's going
there's
to be
not
really
zero
tough.
chance. There's not zero chance. I would be shocked if he lasts the entire season going 125 plays a game, going both ways, without his body breaking down a little bit. And I hope that doesn't happen because I want to see every play. That dude is electric.
He really is.
I mean, electric. I
Yeah.
want to see it.
Yeah,
so I
so
hope his body doesn't break down.
Oh,
I
God,
just-
I don't want him to. I don't want it either.
But
I missed something.
125 plays is a lot.
Clayton's respond to somebody because we did have a conversation about it, but
Colorado State is week 3. USCD was trash. It was very bad.
I'm not
Agreed.
sure. I sent. There it is. So, Hunter Williams. Some think I played a sport, so I'm an expert, better than you. Screw people. And I'll tell that to anyone's face. I just don't think he treated the media like. I don't know.
I don't think you'll find anyone that will say he's handled his business right.
No, he's done how he
But
does.
you won't find anyone that's saying it's not working right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm
Is Dion going to be a problem for other college football teams?
not yet, but he's well on his way of being.
Let's say they have. What was their win total for the year?
3.5.
Let's say they get.
By the way, I was on the over of that.
let's say they get 7 wins. What happens in recruiting?
Nothing.
I'm not
Nothing
100%
changes.
sure.
Nothing.
Nothing changes. He's
Nothing?
recruiting at a high level right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
How much higher is he going to recruit? Number 1 class in the country? Top 10 class in the country?
Is it top 10?
I'm asking. What do you think is going to
That's
happen?
what I think top 10.
Top 10. Colorado top 10.
They're not playing for Colorado. They're not.
Oh,
kids-
don't to Clayton. They are. Clayton, they are.
No, they're not. They're playing for Deion Sanders.
I mean, yes, they are.
How long is Dion at Colorado
That's,
if he's
that's
recruiting
what I
that
was
level?
just about to say. Is he staying there long enough to like make this team a powerhouse again? Because Colorado was a powerhouse in the 80s and 90s, early 90s.
Where are they? Are they load more?
Yeah,
Oh,
they're on
God.
the load more page.
Oh, so they're not recruiting very well right now. They should be recruiting a little bit.
72.
Okay, they should be recruiting better right now. If they're playing for Dion and not Colorado, they don't care about wins or win totals.
I would agree with that. I will be interested to see
72?
what happens with this.
Miami of Ohio, UNLV, Utah, Toledo. Boise
I don't
State.
think anyone thinks that they're going to land at 72 though.
No, how many commitments do they have right now?
8.
8.
3
Three-
4 stars and 5. 3
What's the
stars.
average ranking?
89.4.
89.4 is not that bad. That won't
No,
end
it's
at
really
that
not.
will not end at 72.
No,
No,
that's,
that's what I'm saying.
that's a little above Utah. Right?
89.4. That's good for like top 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, right there, they're above Clemson at 15 right
They're
now.
right there with
They're above
Miami.
Auburn.
Yep. So that's a top 10 maybe. We'll see, man. We will see. It is very intriguing, the Deion Sanders experiment in Colorado.
It
They
really
did
is.
a heck of a job. They did a heck of a job. They will not have their offensive coordinator long. He's gone. He did a masterful job with Shador
he did.
in that offense.
Yeah,
did.
he looked like a Heisman.
Dylan Edwards, the running back. Max said it's kind of fast. Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
Good player.
Yeah.
That lifelong relationship from Florida paid off.
right?
Like that worked out. I don't know, man. I don't know. I with you, Trey Lee, I also have most of Barstool and Prime blocked or muted, not blocked, muted on Twitter because of the Travis Hunter debacle 2 years ago. They made life really difficult for Seminole fans.
Yeah, I bet.
Oh God, they talk so much trash. Maybe we can beat Colorado in the playoffs. That'd be fun this year.
I don't think we need to really do much preview. I don't think anybody has. Who? You want to talk to anybody?
What are we talking about?
Next week's game?
Oh no, we'll preview
yeah.
that. We'll preview.
No, wait.
Oh God, we won't have time. Well, we'll get better at the preview part because we're an hour in and we don't want to do that right now, right?
No.
It's Southern Miss for us. Y'all probably
That's what I'm saying. I don't think
Shout
we
out
have
Shug,
much.
Yeah.
Minnicky State, and Jade Robinson. But
Also,
don't-
shout out Eddie on Farmer at Fort Valley State, which has nothing to do with any of this conversation other than Duke dominated this past
All-star.
weekend.
Super duper quick.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, Chiefs, Lions.
Chiefs cover.
Chiefs cover?
Lions
What's the
cover.
what's
You're
the
the only
line?
person on
5.5.
earth that's on the Chiefs.
What's the line?
5.5.
It's
Cover.
5.5 now?
Chiefs cover.
I think it's been 5.5, hasn't it? Last time I looked, it was
Ooh,
5.5.
Patrick Mahomes is like a bajillion and 0 in openers for like 18
Five.
touchdowns, 18 touchdowns, 0
Five.
interceptions,
I
and like
I'll
1,400
be-
yards passing.
I'll be looking at the Lions.
If the whole world's on Detroit,
They all are.
count me on Kansas City.
Yeah, then you're on Kansas City because
Okay.
every person on earth is on Detroit.
Travis Kelsey's
I'm,
not
I'm on
playing.
Team Fade the Public, so
I think Kelsey plays. They had a thing on the podcast today.
yeah, Kelsey's playing.
Yeah, I think Kelsey plays. The Kelsey
Chiefs.
Brothers podcast. I don't know what it's called. What's the podcast called?
That's a great question.
Front porch sitting.
No, it's front porch sitting. Yeah,
Yeah,
It's a
but
good one.
On that, they were talking about it, the same injury, and he said, "I don't think I missed any games." Did you? What about? Do you remember that, Travis? They were
Yeah.
kind of hinting at that he's going to play.
all right. Yeah,
So-
no, I think he is. Hypothetically, somebody put some money on Travis Hunter for Heisman at plus 4,000, 40 to 1.
Oh,
and
my
that was
Lord.
after Saturday, just so we're clear.
Yeah, it was.
If it happened,
Right.
hypothetically, it could have happened after Saturday.
4,000?
Yes, 40 to 1.
I guess he'd have to beat Kelly Williams. He's probably the favorite front runner.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of front runners, but yeah.
Drake May too, right?
Yeah, him, Drake May, Jordan Travis is like
Jordan Travis is up
9
there.
Dude, plus
Florida State-
4,000 is so much value.
Florida State is still 10-1 to win the national title. Just so we're clear. Golf over 1.5 touchdowns. Amon-Ra St. Brown over 6.5 receptions. Kelsey in a touchdown.
Dang,
I love all those.
I love every one of those.
That's my guy, Steinrich in the chat. Allegedly, if you have a sports book, them are good. Those are good props.
If you're in a state that allows it.
We like golf over 1.5 touchdowns.
Kelsey, first touchdown
I
or
do.
just touchdown score? Out of curiosity.
It's got to be touchdown.
Goff might throw
Speaking
2
of that,
touchdowns to
Keon
Amon-Ra.
Coleman coming in with a clutch. Big fan of Keon Coleman.
Yeah.
Scoring that first touchdown of the game was big. You know what I mean? Good times.
Oh, I forgot about
Good times. Keon Coleman. Nice job by the Florida State defense of stopping that.
Oh,
after
yes.
the big play, getting the stop, and then
That was crucial.
Big.
You might could have
play.
watched the game with me.
I told you.
Y'all would've been
If
boys
you
together.
if you knew what all I had, bud, you would have said,
You
"Please
knew
come
what I-
over."
If you knew what I had, allegedly.
Oh, God.
Yeah. No
There's
doubt.
so much hypothetical conversation.
A lot of
going on. I know. I
hypotheticals.
love it.
I hypothetically punted my daughter's ball pit in the middle of the night. I was like the 5th missed holding call. I was like, okay, I'm losing it right now.
No, I can confirm. I was not there, but I was.
You should have went over the second half and watched the second half.
I told him. I said if the second half doesn't go our way in the beginning parts of the second half, then I'm coming over. And it didn't take long for me to say, I'm gonna stay right here, pal.
And the Keon Coleman touchdown, I FaceTimed you while I was holding Mia
Yeah.
because I knew allegedly what that meant. Fired up.
man.
Fired up. Go freaking Knowles. Finally. Unlike
All right.
Miami, we're back.
Oh, Jalen Milroe put money on his Heisman odds now before they go up after this weekend from Jake Kennedy. I don't think so because I think that Texas goes into Alabama
Uh-oh.
and beats them.
Hey, Jake.
Oh, I'm huge on Texas.
Quick. Because no,
Texas looked
remember-
awful this weekend. by
No,
the way.
Jake said a while back that Texas all day, but he has since changed his mind.
Okay.
And it's now big time Bama here, right? Jake, I'm gonna give you a chance to correct this, and then we'll leave the show because I think you might have put a lot of us sitters on Texas. I want to make sure we can undo that if
I'm
we need
still
to
on
undo
Texas,
that.
so I don't need to undo it.
No, I mean I'm just letting you talk to the
Yeah,
guy.
Yeah. I know, but I still feel good about Texas.
All right. I mean they didn't look great.
No, but I think
That's
that was,
okay.
I'm not saying it was by design, but I think that was okay for them.
We should have pick them this week. We're so stupid. We're out of practice.
Well, I thought about it, but it was
This would be a good one to put on there.
yeah, it was
Texas,
too late.
Bama.
Yeah,
You
it's the best game of the
You
weekend.
didn't
by
want
a
to
long
lose
ways.
again. Yeah. There's not great football on this week.
Who do you got, Joey? You have Texas.
I have Texas winning game
Christopher?
outright.
Oh, we don't know the number. I want to lean Bama, man.
How far would you take Bama? What point?
Are they getting points? I think they're getting points, right?
Looking. Hold on, don't go anywhere.
see.
Oh, they're
Stay right-
getting
oh
points
my
at
gosh.
home?
I believe they might
Bama?
be.
There's no way they're getting points at home.
No.
There's just no way. What they have Archman.
No, they are -7 at home.
Oh gosh, they're giving 7.
Yes.
I would probably buy a half point and go Texas plus 7.5.
Oh, that is such a pro move to buy the half point, buy it up to -130,
Maybe it'd be minus 130.
Miami and A&M's this weekend too. Who you got in that game?
Oh my God, give me Jimbo Fisher and the freaking what are they
Aggies.
called? Aggies. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Texas A&M is bad and Miami is worse.
Sorry,
So,
Zach Paul. Miami's such a laughing stock.
buy one get one. Why didn't we talk about buy one get one?
we are. Right now.
We are. They partnered with Publix. What the heck is going to BOGO? These freakers got BOGO freaking tickets going on because they can't put butts in the seat for the
The
best.
Winn-Dixie of college football
Yes,
teams.
the best home game on their schedule, not named Florida State. The best home game on their
Best home
schedule.
game.
It might be better. Florida State might be at home. I really don't even know. It doesn't matter. We'll play them in a parking lot. But freaking, you got to buy one, get one tickets to Miami? Get out of here.
Oh, man.
So embarrassing. You
same-
buy one ticket and get one to a season, to a game later in the season for free. Unbelievable. Buy one, get one.
It's like
If it's not
EHL
packed,
hockey
Miami
leagues
fans, if
marketing.
it's not packed, you guys definitely aren't making your rent payment to Sun Life Stadium, whatever it's called. It's unbelievable. Jake said
Oh, I'm.
he heard great things from fall camp. He heard great things from fall camp, and the sources have changed their mind. Milroe have a sneak peek last week, or gave y'all a sneak peek last week. Offense hasn't even opened up yet. All right.
Milroe is and I like the guy. I think he's dynamic, but he's not there yet. I didn't die. Listen, the first quarter and
No way UCF did that.
the first quarter and 2/3 of the game with Alabama last week, Milroe was super duper pedestrian.
Oh yeah.
I'm good on that.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, he's gonna have to play a lot better than he played last week to beat Texas this
Who
week.
did
Texas's
play last
defense
week?
is pretty solid. They played Middle Tennessee.
Ooh.
Middle Tennessee, not great.
Rick Stockstill, Seminole great though. We like him. The head coach.
Zoom in on the scoreboard.
Or maybe it's just UCF's page, not UCF
Yeah.
football.
I would just love to see it say like no BOGO
I can't
here.
find it.
Okay.
There's no way it's
Say,
this,
hey,
right?
Blaze, send it to us. It'll be.
Oh,
fun.
it is right here. No BOGO offers available. No BOGO
No.
offers
Oh
available.
my gosh.
Hold on, I don't know if I can share my screen.
That's okay. You
Yeah,
don't
I
have
can.
to.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can. Here we go.
Here, we'll show you.
Boom.
Where does it say it?
Says it right. It's hard to
On the
zoom.
scoreboard?
Yeah. There.
Oh, there it is.
No BOGO offers available.
No way.
UCF trolls to Miami are as good as it gets.
That's so good.
Not great football this week when Broncos Raiders play on Sunday. It's
We mean
crazy.
college.
Also, I have to tell you, bud, I don't want to watch the Raiders play ever. So, I'm good on that.
Big Russell Wilson fan this year, unfortunately.
I traded for him in one of my deep leagues that I'm in that
Let's ride.
I didn't want to trade for him.
That's
I didn't
honestly
have
the
a
best
choice.
part of drafting Russell Wilson.
Yeah, you can just
Is you
say
get
that.
to let's ride all the time. Oh man, Sitters, football's back. So are we.
Yeah, we love you. Thanks for hopping
Thank you.
in, hanging out. Tell a friend next week. It'll just keep getting better and better.
We'll get back into rhythm here soon.
Yeah, we just did a fantasy football draft, and we did it at the country club. Really good food.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
we did.
Good
We
good
did.
time. If you need a membership at that place, give them a call at Lake City Country Club. Joey, the number?
752-2266. Ask to speak to Dave Mell. He'll get you guys squared away. Greens look really good right now. Club championship this weekend. Can't wait to play in that. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Me and Shane getting to play in that on Saturday and Sunday.
How about it?
So I'm pretty stoked.
Let's
Love
go.
that.
Go low, baby.
Go low. We're gonna try. We're gonna give it our best. That's for dang sure.
Sitters, we love you. Thanks so much for hanging out. We'll catch you next week.
What the heck are you doing?
I don't know.
This is my job.
Do it.
That's going to be it for Night Sitters. This has been Tyler Rolfe along with Joey Edge and Chris Martinez, and we are Front Porch Sitting. See you next time, Sitters.